In this session, we will understand the difference between readline and readlines function. So in this program, just we have taken one a small program to understand how readline function will work here. So here my file is a file object which is linked with the python.txt text file, and we have opened this python.txt in a read mode. R is here for the read mode. So in the next line of this program, just we have called readline function using the myfile file object. So when we will call readline function, then it will read the first line of the python.txt, because here readline myfile object is linked with the python.txt file. So it will read the first line and return its value as a string, and that will get stored into a str1 variable here. So in next line, when we will print str1, then it will print the first line of file as its value. So in next line of this program, we have again called the readline function. So second time, this readline function will pick the second line of the file and store it into a str2 variable. And when we will print this value of str2, so it will print the second line of a file here. And at last, just we have closed the file by using close function. So when we will run this program, so this program will return the first line and second line of a file, because this is the content of this python.txt file. Here, this is the first line of this python.txt file, and this is the second line is the second line of this python.txt file. So readline function is going to read the file line by line and return its value as a string. So the second is the demonstration of readlines function. So in this program, again we have taken my file. It's a file object here, and we have linked this file object with the python.txt text file and open it into a read mode. We have used open function to open the python.txt file. So now in next line, we have called readlines function. So what is the basic difference between readline and readlines function? Readline function will return a string as its return value, but readlines will return list as its return value. So what is going to happen when readlines is called? Readline function will read the file and it will take each line of a file as an element of a list, and it will return the line of file as a element of a list. So when we will call readline function, then readline function will return a list, and that list is get stored into a temp variable here, because Python is a dynamic typing language. So when we will return list, then the variable become list, and when we will return string, then it variable become string. So in the next line of this program, we have passed temp variable in a len function. So when len function is used to count the number of element or length. So here temp is a list here, so it will going to count the element of a list here. And as I have told, readline function will treat each line as an element of list in a file. So will temp is here a list which has each line of a file as its element. So suppose if the file contain the 4 line, then this temp list has a 4 element in it. And if the file has a 10 line, then this temp list has a 10 element in it. So in next line, when we will print the value as number of lines in a Python in txt line count variable, so it will going to count the number, display the number of lines present in a file. And at last we have closed the file. So when I will run this program, it will display the number of lines in python.txt is 3, because right now we have 3 lines in python.txt. So suppose I will enter one more line here, and again I will execute this file. So it will give output as a number of line in python.txt is 5, because uh, by mistake I have entered one more enter character. So each enter character is counted as a line in a Python. So it is going to count it as a 5 here. So suppose I will going to delete this line here. Now if I will run this program again, so it will display 4, because number of line in a Python text is 4 here. Right now this file contain the 4 line. So readline function will treat each line as its element of a list. So the basic difference between read line and read lines is read line will return a string as its return value, and read lines will return list as its return value. So I think it's clear to you. Thank you.